Let's drop some game on
All right,
the
let's go,
youngins.
man. Hey, this episode right here is for barbers that are new in the game or, barbershop owners that need help scaling their business. All right. The point of this episode is to help you guys, give you 10 years of experience in the barbering game for myself. And then, my boy Lefonz, he's been in the game for how long?
I've been in the game for about 5 years now. When I started taking it serious, about 5 years ago.
5 years, yeah. So, we got 5 years, 10 years, 15 years combined of just game, and when I first started, it wasn't as popping. Barbering was not as popping as it is today, with social media blowing it up and all that. So today, appreciate you guys for tapping in, but I want to start off with giving a huge shout out to Forum Energy. And I ain't sponsored, but this is owned by Andy Frisella. Man, I can't believe, bro. What a trip. Today, man, we got followed on our social media, Instagram, by Andy Frisella.
Big moves, big moves.
Big moves, And so for us, man, we've been putting in work day after day, 6-7 days a week.
Yes, sir.
I know how many days are you in the shop?
Man, I'm in this shop 6 days a week, 10 plus hours, and just on grind mode.
Grind mode, 6 days, 7 days sometimes, man. But today we are going to drop an episode called Don't Judge a Book
By its cover.
By its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, we're gonna tell you what it means to us. See, you young barbers, man, we're gonna put you on game. All right. New barbers, when they first start cutting hair, what do they want to do? They want to cut the NFL players, the basketball players, the NBA players, the content creators. They want to cut the trappers,
Everybody.
The people with, the designer, with the bust down watches and jewelry and all that. But guess what? We're going to give you a reality check, man. One of the most humblest people, one of the most conservative people that look borderline homeless are some of the wealthiest people that I've met. I don't know if they understand what I mean.
No, that's facts. I mean, I feel like a lot of the people that I've ran across in the past few years, like they tricked me. This game tricked me. So, people walk in with all their designer stuff on and the glasses, the shoes, and like they don't even want to pay the price. It's the ones, the real wealthy ones are the ones that, they come in shorts, regular shoes, t-shirts. Those are the guys that that you want to go after. So
yeah, so one of my wealthiest clients, man, he just pull up in his collared shirt, very conservative, Tesla, nothing crazy. Later I got close to one of his employees, Vern, and right when COVID happened, all the barbers had to shut down. We had to shut down for a few months.
Yeah,
you remember that?
I remember that.
Every shop in the whole country had to shut down. There was people that were doing house calls. You guys remember? Everything was shut down. Barbershops were shut down. People were forced to do house calls. People were getting in trouble for working at the shops. And so for me, man, when I found out, and I'm not gonna put his name out, but I'm gonna call him Mr. C. When COVID happened, I was invited by Vern. I believe it was like his CFO. That's a business term for a chief financial officer. And so they invited me to their office down the street.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-story office that Mr. C owned. And as I got to get close to, his closest people, man, I started finding out more and more about Mr. C. And Mr. C owns 3 mansions in Strands Beach For those of you that don't know what Strands Beach is, it is one of the most richest beach communities here in California. You know, you have Oprah, LeBron, Vanessa Bryant, royalty families from the Middle East that live in that community.
Wow.
So this guy owned not one, 3 properties worth 30 million plus for one house. So this is an example of you new barbers to not judge a book by its covers. All right, so most of you guys would look at Mr. C and think he don't even have money, but this guy's a billionaire with a capital B. You know, so you know what you think, man? What you think? Give him some game, bro.
I mean, I feel you on that because, like I was saying earlier, like we have people that come in, and I promise you, like as the young barbers are watching or somebody inspiring to be a barber right now, you have to sit back. Sometimes you just gotta listen. Like my grandpa used to always tell me, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should always listen twice as much as you talk. So what I've been doing for the past 5 years is I just sit back and I also watch. I watch and I listen, and I see these guys walking in, and what I notice is, you know, we got the parking lot right over there. I'll see somebody pulling in like a nice, you know, Mercedes or Range Rovers. I even have clients that pull up in like Lambos, McLarens, like, you know, high end cars, stuff you don't even see commercials for. So these guys hop out and they're just like in regular clothes, and I'm like, dang, if I ever see these guys like walking down the street, I wouldn't even, I'd probably just keep walking. You know, I treat everybody the same, but you know, sometimes there's people that also dress really, you know, exotic, wearing everything. So these guys walk into the shop and you tell them whatever price you're charging for their haircut, and 9 times out of 10 they're not trying to look too flashy. They want to get maybe like a low fade, nothing off the top, no lineup, just, you know, clean up the beard a little bit. And if you're charging, I don't know, say average maybe $50 for a haircut, these guys are like, oh, that's it? And you're like, yeah, that's it. And they're like, oh, what's your Zelle? Paying like $120, $130. I actually had a guy that came in today that had paid me $150 for a haircut, and he was wearing regular jeans. I think he had on some New Balances, white t-shirt. And I'm not gonna throw his name out there, but just know he's doing big things right now. So I get clients like that all the time.
But tell him what does he do?
So this guy, he is the he does podcasts, he does a lot of marketing, and he is Mike Tyson's he films all of his podcasts for Hot Boxing.
Yeah, so he's a marketing agency owner, but they also run a podcast agency.
Yes. Yeah, he does it all, and he has a whole team of people. And you know, the way he walked in, I would have promised you I would have never known. But that's another thing that, you know, barbers lacking is the conversation with their clients. So you have to, you know, pick people's brain. You never know who's sitting in your chair. So that's one thing I've learned. So
the podcast that Mike Tyson has, that's called Hot Boxing?
Hot Boxing.
So Hot Boxing, I know you guys have seen that YouTube channel before, that podcast channel. That guy helps shoot content for Mike Tyson's podcast.
Yep.
And he was just in here like 30 minutes ago. And so here's another example that we got to give to these young bucks. And
the youngins.
You know, sometimes, you know, it could go the other way too, man. You know, when they see people coming in with designer and, you know, jewelry, watches, fancy cars, you know, but sometimes, man, those are the same customers that don't even tip.
That's
right. Like sometimes you expect these guys to tip more than the average person, but then you'll realize that they won't even tip at all.
Yep.
Not $1.
Not even one.
Not even one.
But those are also the same guys that, you know, because you want to promote your your Instagram and stuff like that. And you follow them, and those are the same guys that you see at clubs, you know, buying out the bars, drinking, and just throwing their money away on stuff they're gonna like, just, you know, one night type of stuff. And then they, you know, no tip when it comes to somebody who's actually, you know, working on them, their appearance and stuff like that. So that they post on social media.
Yeah. And, you know, for you as a barber, they look at you the same way.
Yeah.
Do they not? What do I mean by that? So, for example, man, our demographic right here, you know, it's predominantly white, Hispanic, you know, and you know, for Lefonz, man, when they see a brother, like they see a black barber in the shop, man, and he gets a lot of clients from clients that want black barbers because they want the fresh lineups, the fresh tapers.
It's like a little cheat code. But
they see me with the long hair, and they're like, "Oh, this guy don't know how to fade because I got the long hair."
Right.
So I don't know how to fade because I got the long hair. But if you come to my shop, I'll show you I got 10 trophies. I'm a multi-award winning barber, and I might not look like it because I got the long hair. But that goes for both the clients and the barbers too, man. You know, and you know, somebody with long hair could come in and look at Lefonz like, hey, oh, he's black. He don't know how to cut straight hair, or he don't know how to cut long hair. Cap. Bro, this guy, he started with like shear cutting, man. This guy knows how to do shears with his eyes closed.
Cosmetology.
Eyes closed, baby.
Yes, sir.
$1,000 shears.
Blindfolded.
Hanzels.
Stevie Wonder.
But look, it goes the same way, man. Right?
Yeah. And that's actually a good topic right there. Is like, because when I first started, people would see me as a black barber, and they'd walk in and be like, "It's a black barber. I want him to cut my hair." But I knew nothing. I left people bleeding. I've left side high fade, right side low fade. Like I had no idea. It was so much pressure, and you know, and it goes for all, you know, all types of people, all races and stuff like that. No matter what community you're in, they could be like, "Oh, like that's a Hispanic barber. He probably knows how to cut my hair." But fact of the matter is, like, shoot, I learned my game from Alex and other barbers that were in the shop. And I sat behind them, and I wanted this. I sat behind them, and I watched, and I learned, and I picked up a lot of game from, you know, everybody. And over time, like, with that pressure, you know, I just, you know, I turned it into fuel, and I just, you know, I gave it to them. So that's how I became, you know, what I see as great. You know, I don't know if check out my work or whatever, but, you know, I turned that into what I turned it into, and, you know, that's you know, why I'm at where I'm at right now. So, you know, shouts out to Alex.
No, facts. And then, man, give them your handles, your IG handles.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the social media thing. So you can follow me on all platforms at Cut by Fonz. So that's CUTBYFONZ. And I do so much content. I have tutorials. You can go on there and watch. Like, I'm very, you know, I understand where you're coming from as a listener. So I try to dedicate all my videos to the listener. So tap in Cut by Fonz.
Hey, man, we got receipts. Just, you know, tap in on his to his Instagram. Tap into mine's AmbitiousEdge or the Alexander Estrada. But, man, do not judge a book by its covers. This goes for the new barbers and also the OG barbers, you know, because there's OG barbers, man, that got floss too. You know, just because you've been in the game for 10 plus years, don't mean you ain't got holes. Yeah. Because a lot of OG barbers got holes in their game, but they let their egos get in the way.
I think they're comfortable.
And they let their egos get in the way.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the OG barbers, man. But look, one of the biggest gems I can give you guys, barbers, female barbers, male barbers, new barbers, OG barbers, is treat every customer the same. You know, give them your best service you can give them. When they walk in the shop, man, greet them, introduce yourself, give them your name, sit them down, be very concise of the consultation, because that lets the client know that you're going above and beyond by asking all these questions. Is gonna make them feel like you really care. Will it not?
That's facts. It's almost like the old saying, shake the CEO's hand the same way you would shake the janitor's hand.
Facts.
Treat everybody the same.
Right. So the reason why we're saying this is so that anybody can cut a customer's hair once, but can you cut them 100 times?
Right.
Can you cut them 1,000 times? So that $30, $40, $50 cut can be earned once, or that same $50 cut by that same customer could be multiplied 100 times.
That's facts.
And that's called the client acquisition. All right. Anybody can cut a person once, but it's harder. It takes more energy. It takes more skill to be able to retain that customer, retain that client long-term, lifetime.
Yep.
So the harder you go, man, the more value you're going to give to your customers, and the more they're going to want to come back to you. Because the same barber that works down the street at the other shop can do the same cut as you, if not better. But that doesn't matter, because the barber that cuts really good hair but has really bad service is going to lose the clients to the barber that may not be as good with cutting hair but is very professional with their service.
I feel like a lot of clients use us as even though if you guys don't want to say it, we're therapists. At the end of the day. I remember my teacher, he actually told me that we're one of the few professions that can actually get inside people's bubble. There's very few professions where the worker can physically touch you, and that builds a different type of relationship with the client, whether it's a massage therapist, a doctor, dentist. Those are the ones they get paid, and it's because they can physically touch you, have conversation. You sit in a barber chair and you end up telling me your whole life story that for no reason. And some people after a long day of work need to get that off their chest sometimes. So it's like we're there, we listen, we give you the cut, make you feel good. So like it's deeper than just the cut. I've heard some crazy stories that's been people that have sat in my chair before. But yeah, man, like.
Hey, but tell them one crazy story that you've heard.
Off the top, dang, I've heard so many crazy stories.
Hey, but sometimes, man, like people come to us because they don't have anybody else to go to. They'll tell us things that they won't even tell their best friends or their coworkers or their boss or their employees or whatever, whoever. But like that's what so beautiful about this industry, man, is that we could build so many relationships with so many different people from different walks of lives.
Right.
For example, the way I got in contact with Andy Frisella is my boy Summers, man. He came in the shop over the weekend, wanted his beard fixed. He wanted his beard fixed, and I sat him down. We started talking about supplements, and this guy swole, and I had my supplements on my station.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, bro, shit, I work out too, I'm big too. I'm big into the, workout, I cut hair, but I can lift pretty heavy too. I was showing him my video of me repping like 315. And then I was like, he was telling me like, I work for a supplement company now. And then I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, so do you guys go to trade shows, this and that? Trying to just make a conversation, right? He's like, yeah, man. Like, oh, he was like, no, we actually don't. He's like, we host our events at our facility. He's like, we have an 800,000 square foot facility. And I was like, whoa. So I was like, yo, by the way, I was like, who's the owner of this supplement company? And he was like, Andy Frisella. And I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. Because the night before I was listening to Andy Frisella's podcast.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so I was telling him about how I'm so invested into self-development, reading books, and a lot of the stuff that Andy's talking about, bro, I respect so much. And, you know, because those are the people I look up to. You know, Andy comes from nothing. You know, shit, we come from nothing, but we're trying to make something out of nothing.
That's right.
Just like he did, right? So, man, you know, Andy started following us today, bro, and that just comes to show, man, building relationships is powerful. Don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know who that person might know.
That's right.
Right?
I've actually had I remember, I think it was my third year here in barbering. I had this light-skinned dude that walked into the shop, all tatted up, and he was actually with his mom, which at the time I didn't know that, you know, they were together. They walked in at 2 separate times, but they both sat down in the waiting area, and I was like, all right, who's next? And the mom stood up, and I was like, oh, you're getting a haircut. She had a hat on. She sat in my chair, took her hat off. Hair was about as short as mine, and I was like, okay, what kind of cut would you like? And she just wanted to like buzz it down to like a 1 all around, you know. And I was having conversations with her. I was like, hey, like, you know, what do you plan on doing? She wanted to go get her kids afterwards, or her grandkids actually. I'm sorry. And she starts telling me about her kids, and I was like, oh wow. I was like, she said, hey, my son's actually a rapper, and off the top I was like SoundCloud rapper or anything like that, and she's like, oh no, he's up there. And I was like, how far? Like up there? What do you mean? And she's like, oh, like he just made a song that went viral not that long ago called Show Me with Chris Brown. And I was like, I like that song. Like, that's on my playlist right now.
Dude, Chris Brown?
With Chris Brown.
CB.
With CB.
Oh,
and,
man.
He's from my hometown, too, Virginia. So I was like, Kid Ink? And she's like, that's my son. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, and that's your other son right there? And then his name was actually Julian. And he was... what did he do back when, like, you remember when jerking was
jerking,
like the dance and stuff like that? He what was the name of the group? I can't believe I'm forgetting this right now. But he was a part of this huge like jerking era. He was famous. He was in a couple movies and stuff like that. But like, you just, like I said, you never know. The movie and everything will hit me. Later on, but yeah.
Oh, like, we can drop the movie on the comment box.
We will drop the movie on the comment box.
We got receipts.
Exactly.
And another thing I wanna mention, man, as a new barber, obviously, your cutting skills are not gonna be up there. You're gonna be a little intimidated. Working at a shop full of killers, experienced barbers. And you as a new barber, you're going to be intimidated, because your haircuts are not going to look great in the beginning. And that goes for everybody, for me too, for Fonz, all of us. And we all go through that phase, is that first phase. And some barbers don't even make it out that first phase. Yeah. Some people just can't handle the pressure of being able to mess up a haircut, because we all mess up haircuts in the beginning. And that's part of the process, is to learn from your mistakes. Yep. Repetition, practice, experience. You gotta work on anything you want to learn. You gotta work on it at least 20 hours to become experienced. So you gotta bust out them haircuts, man. So one of the things that helped me overcome my fear and also gain clients without being the best at cutting hair was giving customers great customer service. How did I do that? I did it by having a great conversation. You know, hey, as simple as, hey, how's your day today? Do you have any plans for the weekend? What do you do for work? And start talking about them, you know, because at the end of the day, man, people just want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
You know, they want to have a great conversation. That's why people come to the barbershops, is to have a great conversation. The barbershop culture, man, you know, and then this goes back in time, from the beginnings of times, is the barbershop culture, man. You know, the guys, the men, boys, we all went to the shop because it was fun. You know, we, you know, pull up to the shop with your boys, listen to music, hip hop, you know, talk about anything, no filters with the boys.
This actually, the barbershop used to be like a, and here's another gem for, like, because you have to know your history with barbering too.
Of course.
This used to be like a meetup spot for like fraternal groups, business owners, or just businesses in general. Like, instead of renting out a spot or going to some office or something to have a meeting, the barbershop was a place that everybody used to come to and just talk about whatever they have to talk about. Because it's a comfortable environment. Like, this is the spot where, you know, the boys hang out, the men hang out.
It's like the man cave.
The man cave. The man cave. So, like, this used to be the spot. And that's kind of where I want to bring things back to, because over time, you know, things have changed. Things have changed, obviously, and I'm not going to touch too much on that subject. But, yeah, man, I really want to get back into that, where after closing hours, you know, a group of people come in, you have a couple drinks or do whatever you got to do, and, you know, just, you know, the man cave. You know, I miss that.
Yeah, man. So, what are some gems, man, you want to cover? You know, we got a little bit of time left, but, you know, if you guys, you know, have any questions, if you're a barber, if you're a new barber, if you're struggling with anything, you know, feel free to comment anything in the box below. Anything we can help you guys with, you know, we'll make another video.
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
you know, just give you our knowledge, you know, our experience, our input, you know, and hopefully, you know, we could help you, you know.
A quick gem that I got for you is I remember at the beginning, I wanted to quit a lot of the times, because as a new barber like you guys, you know, you don't really understand that it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks for a client to come back. So you might be sitting there like, wow, it takes a long time for you to get booked out. So you might cut somebody, you might not see him for a few weeks, maybe a month, depending on their schedule, but you gotta keep going. A lot of the times I've seen barbers over the years come in, they give it like 2 months, which that means you've only gave a client 2 months to come back to, you know, come see you, but they quit. You have to stay grounded. If you keep moving barbershop to barbershop, I know barbers that have came here, then they're at this barbershop over there. They've been to 6 other barbershops before. Like, how are you gonna, if you start building a house here and then like, oh, like that's taking too long, why would you start building a house over at a different section? You're just gonna have a bunch of bricks just laying around. It's gonna show that you're not, you know, engaged in what you're doing. So stay consistent, please.
We had a barber that had to call out because he had to pay a cell phone bill. Hey, but we ain't gonna say no names, man.
Hey, why didn't you come to work today? Oh, I gotta pay my phone bill today.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And another thing I want to talk about is, as a new barber, don't give up. I don't know what it is, but it's like the universe. It's like the universe testing you with anything that you want to do in life. You know, as simple as hitting the gym. You know, when you want to start hitting the gym and it's your first time, you're unfamiliar with working out and it feels uncomfortable.
Right.
When you start driving, when you start learning how to drive, it feels uncomfortable. Same thing with cutting hair. When you start cutting hair, you're unfamiliar with cutting hair. It feels uncomfortable. But like we mentioned earlier, the more repetitions, the more consistent, the more practice. Even when you're not cutting hair, go to the next barber next to you. Study that barber. Study all the barbers in that barbershop. Man, go to YouTube. No excuses.
That's all I used to do.
No excuses. Instead of going out to the bars, drinking alcohol, hanging out with the women, start investing into your self-development, into your future. Lock in. Man, women are always going to be at the bars. Guys are always going to be at the bars, at the clubs. But how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to succeed? Man, it's been, 520 days for me since I've drank alcohol. But, that doesn't mean that you can't drink alcohol. It just means that you got to set your priorities straight. I have friends, man, that are 8-figure earners. Man, they party. They have fun. But sometimes you just got to lock in. There's going to be times where I'll be able to go out and enjoy myself too. But right now we're locked in. As a new barber, you got to lock in. Because a lot of new barbers, man, they get too comfortable. They get too comfortable with working at a shop. It's not a white collar shop. It's not corporate. Right. So they think they can do whatever they want whenever they want. But the way you do one thing is the way you do all things.
Facts.
Facts. So if your personal life is messy, your professional life is going to be messy. If your diet is messy, it's going to affect you in different ways. But as I was saying, man, I just want to emphasize this. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable getting to the level you want to as a master barber. You just got to keep going, not give up. I think the average length or time of a barber to be able to, have a established clientele and feel comfortable behind the chair and feel confident is around a 6-month period. That's on an average.
I could agree with that.
There's people that take a year. There's people that take 2 years. But all that matters is don't give up. Right? Don't give up. Anything that you do, man, don't give up. If you want that girl at the gym, go get her. Don't give up. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a creep. But just don't give up, man.
Consistency. I was something that you told me like years ago, Alex. I think you told me like you was like because I was uncomfortable when I first started. I wanted to quit. Thank God I didn't.
Shit,
but
me too.
Man, Alex had told me, he's like, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that sat with me for like days before it actually locked in. And I was like, what does he mean, get comfortable with being uncomfortable? And life is about going against the grain. I'm gonna speak in barber terms. We go against the grain. So every time I felt uncomfortable, I would just go harder at that. And this is why I'm at where I am today, is because I learned how to, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So and the learning never stops. So you just gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. So I mean, with barbers that are in their first 6 months and they're like, man, my clientele's not hitting. I feel like my fades. Do what most of us do. Watch YouTube videos, get out there and watch other people. Like, don't feel weird because you're watching somebody that's better than you. Pride gets in the way of a lot of things, and people don't want to, tell somebody like, hey, you're better than me. Let me learn from you. They'll rather sit back there and struggle. If that's what you want to do, then you're gonna, elevate slowly. But if you want to elevate fast, you got to get out of your comfort zone. I promise you, it'll be like a hockey stick. You'll start here and you'll just jet straight up. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That was dope, yeah. And, we all have a friend that might be a hippie that might not care how their haircut looks, that may not want to spend money on their haircuts, so they don't mind getting, a free haircut.
Practice.
There's always a test dummy out there, and it's somewhere in your contact list. So if you're a new barber, man, hit up your boys, hit up everybody in your contact list for free haircuts. Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do, is to give free haircuts. Sometimes you have to be able to give free haircuts to be able to get better at cutting hair. Sometimes you just gotta do that, man. I did that a lot of times.
Yep.
Same. Practice, repetition. There's gonna be a lot of guys, a lot of people, a lot of friends, homies, close friends that are not gonna want you to cut their hair because they don't want to go to the club with a messed up cut.
Yep.
So don't take it personal. Because would you want your haircut to look messed up? No. But there's people out there that don't care, that don't mind. Look for those people. They're in your contact list. Look for those people. They're in your Instagram, TikTok. Whatever platform you have, man, there's going to be one person. There's going to be your neighbor. You're going to have a neighbor, man, that's not going to care. Use them for practice.
And that's one thing, the topic, don't judge a book by its cover. Those are the people I respect the most. The ones that let their homies practice on them. Yeah. I get so many people, like whether it's walk-ins or people that booked, and I just be like, who cut your hair before you came here? And as soon as they tell me like, oh, I let my homie practice on me, I'll respect, because I know when I first started, I wanted homies to practice on. So I know you might see them in the street and be like, man, that's a messed up haircut right there. But little do they know, you were just letting, your boy practice on you, your girl, whoever practiced on you. So, lots of respect to the guys that let, new upcoming barbers practice on them. And that's also another thing for you as a young and upcoming barber, somebody inspiring to be a barber, test to see if those are your real boys. Be like, hey man, like, you mind if I practice on you? Like, come to my garage or come here and let me practice on you. If they say no, you might want to move to a new circle. So,
and barbers have it so easy nowadays, man. So easy. So easy. You guys have YouTube. There's no excuse and why barbers shouldn't be able to get to that next level, man. You have social media. You have, back then, Facebook wasn't even popping when I started. Literally, I'm telling you, there was like 2 barbers that were popping. Now you have every barber wants to become a influencer. It's cool. It's more value, more game for you guys. But a lot of you guys don't want to put in that work. A lot of you guys want things easy. Nothing in life is easy. No, so for you have YouTube though. That's an advantage that we didn't have.
None of that. I mean, I remember we were still choosing songs to put on our MySpace profile page. So I mean, what was your song on your profile? I'm a rare breed, man. I was a Soulja Boy fan. I ain't even gonna lie.
Superman them.
Hey. My whole page was all so. I would have, man. Not even gonna get into it, but
man, I had a Lil Wayne, Birdman. That leather so sad.
Hey, Carter 3. Wayne was the GOAT.
Shit, yeah, sky's the limit.
Still the GOAT.
Swimming with the pigeons, flying with the. How was it? Yeah, anyways. But back to the topic, man. No excuses. Go get it. Go to YouTube. Go to your neighbors. Go to your contacts on your cell phone. Go to your social media platforms. Man, go to the homeless around the corner at the liquor store. No excuses.
Yeah, clean your clippers, but yeah, go
clean your clippers, man.
Check them out too, man.
So, man, we about to drop some more gear. We got the AmbitiousEdge snapbacks. We got them in black, maroon, and green. And we're going to drop some limited edition snapbacks coming soon. It's a surprise. We're not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be limited edition. We've never dropped these types of hats before. Every time we drop a hat, a snapback, it's just a solid collar, with the logo. The next drop is gonna be different. Stay tuned. It's never been done before. We're gonna kill the barbering game. Limited edition. So if you guys want a hat, you can pre-order. Comment below. Snap back. We're gonna hit you up. You know, make sure we lock you in. But it's limited. Man, what type of drip should we come out, man? What type of drip should we drop?
I mean, it's
we got the plug, man. We got the plug. We plugged up, man.
It's midsummer right now, but I know people like to get stuff early. I say we drop some, some hoodies, some windbreakers.
Ooh.
We might even come out with a pair of shoes. Y'all, you never know. You might.
Shoes?
The socks.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hey, but how high are your socks?
Oh, mine past my knees.
The higher the socks, the down to the fold. Hey, but snapbacks coming soon. If you guys found some value in this podcast, man, hey, we're just having a conversation, not trying to take this too serious, but we did drop some gems. I hope you guys learned at least one thing. And if you did, please like the video, comment, give us your takeaway. And subscribe to the channel, man.
Exactly.
It's free. You ain't got to pay for it, man. This is free game.
And this is also, the topic, don't judge a book by its cover. This is our podcast right here. Don't do too much judging. If you feel like we need to touch on a certain subject, just comment in the section below, and we'll help you guys engage with us. So we're all a family right here. So we'll whatever we see you guys comment, you'll know, because you'll watch the next video and it'll be in there.
And you guys know, but for you that don't know, man, we come from nothing, right? Shit, we me specifically, like, broken family. Nobody in my family were ever entrepreneurs. So I wanted to just break that chain, break that family curse. So I was the first one in my family to become an entrepreneur, man. And it's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, risk. And, this here, man, was hard work, consistency, never giving up, feeling every emotion you can as a person, but keep moving forward, keep pushing. This is just two young, ambitious people, that are just hungry. We could be at home with our families at the gym, but we're here giving you guys game, and we're going to keep rocking with you guys. Just show us some love, share this video. We'll see you guys on the next one. Tap in. We're going to try to have one every week. So if you guys like it, please, one more time, just drop a comment below, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Woo!